Stickman just delivered a wedding cake to a construction site. And somehow, this is a completely normal Tuesday for him. This is Stickman. He works for a delivery company, technically. His manager handed him his first package of the day, address clearly written. Stickman looked at the label and said confidently, "Easy, I got this." His manager sighed, already regretting the decision. The package was meant for a quiet house on Maple Street. Stickman instead ended up at a bustling fire station. He knocked, and a firefighter opened the door, puzzled. Stickman handed over the package anyway. Special delivery. The firefighter opened it to find scented candles meant for someone's anniversary. Stickman returned to the depot, empty-handed but proud. His manager stared at him. Where are the candles supposed to go? Stickman blinked. I thought firefighters liked warm things. The manager groaned and handed him a second package, hoping for better luck. This package was meant for a small bakery downtown. Stickman instead arrived at a bustling zoo entrance. A zookeeper greeted him, equally confused by the delivery uniform. Stickman handed over the package, flour and baking supplies. The zookeeper shrugged. Well, the elephants do love flour, I guess. Word started spreading around town about the delivery boy who never delivers correctly. People started nicknaming him Wrong Turn Stickman. Stickman overheard this at a coffee shop and felt a small sting of embarrassment. He whispered to himself, "I'll prove them wrong." Literally. Stickman decided to use a GPS app for his next delivery. The package was meant for a library on the edge of town. He followed the GPS carefully, determined not to mess up this time. Somehow, the GPS led him straight into a farmer's cornfield. A farmer Stickman approached, wiping dirt from his hands. He asked, "Can I help you find something, son?" Stickman held up the package. Library books, apparently. The farmer laughed heartily. "Well, I do enjoy a good read after harvest." He took the books happily, and Stickman walked away, oddly satisfied. Back at the depot, the manager was reviewing complaint after complaint. He called Stickman into a small office for a serious talk. He said, "One more wrong delivery, and I'll have to let you go." Stickman nodded seriously, feeling the weight of the warning. The next package was labeled urgent, medical supplies for a clinic. Stickman held the box tightly, determined to get this one right. He triple-checked the address before setting off. This time, he was going to walk there manually, no GPS involved. Along the way, a street performer caught his attention. Stickman paused just for a moment to watch, package still in hand. Then a food cart's delicious smell pulled him even further off course. He grabbed a quick snack, completely forgetting his urgent mission. By the time he remembered, he was 3 streets in the wrong direction. Stickman broke into a full sprint, package clutched tightly. He dodged pedestrians, leapt over a fire hydrant, and kept running. Sweat dripped down his forehead as the clinic came into view. He burst through the door, gasping for breath. He handed the package to the nurse at the front desk, still catching his breath. The nurse checked the label and smiled. Perfect, right on time. Stickman collapsed into a nearby waiting room chair, relieved beyond words. For the first time all week, he had actually delivered something correctly. Stickman returned to the depot with newfound confidence. His manager looked at him, cautiously optimistic. Stickman announced, proudly, "One perfect delivery, no detours needed." The manager allowed himself a small, hopeful smile. The manager decided to give Stickman his biggest challenge yet, a fragile antique vase headed for the town's most prestigious museum. Stickman held the box like it was made of pure glass, because it basically was. He took slow, deliberate steps, determined not to mess this one up. Halfway there, dark clouds rolled in and rain began to pour. Stickman ducked under a nearby awning, protecting the box with his whole body. He waited patiently, refusing to risk even a single drop touching it. After a few minutes, the rain finally slowed to a gentle drizzle. Stickman continued on, museum steps finally coming into view. He climbed the steps slowly, package held high and dry. A museum curator waited at the entrance, checking her watch impatiently. Stickman approached, box intact, triumphant smile on his face. The curator opened the box carefully, inspecting the antique vase inside. It was perfectly intact, not a single scratch or crack. The curator smiled with genuine relief. Finally, a delivery service I can trust. Stickman beamed with pride, standing a little taller than usual. Stickman returned to the depot, practically glowing with pride. His manager greeted him with an actual, genuine high five. The manager said, "2 perfect deliveries in one day. I'm impressed." Stickman grinned. "Guess I'm turning things around after all." Feeling unstoppable, Stickman volunteered for one final delivery of the day. The manager handed him a large box. "This one's a wedding cake, handled with extreme care." Stickman nodded confidently. "After today, piece of cake. Literally." He set off with determination, a dress clutched firmly in hand. But somewhere between the 3rd and 4th turn, his focus began to drift. A shiny new food truck rolled by and his stomach growled loudly. Before he knew it, he had taken 3 wrong turns in a row. He looked up, and there it was, the exact same construction site from the very beginning. The same confused construction workers stared back at him. One of them said, "Wait, didn't you bring us a cake here before?" Stickman looked down at the cake box in his hands and then back at the workers. He laughed. "You know what? Some things never change." He handed over the wedding cake anyway, fully embracing the chaos. The workers cheered, gathering around for an impromptu cake celebration. Stickman smiled, watching the unexpected party unfold. He pulled out his phone and called the depot with the news. His manager sighed on the other end of the line. "The construction site again? Really?" Stickman replied cheerfully, "Hey, at least they love me here now." The manager couldn't help but laugh a little on the other end of the line. He said, "Just get back here before you deliver the depot somewhere." Stickman laughed and promised to head back. Cake mission complete, sort of. As he walked away, the construction site erupted in cheerful chatter behind him. This has been the story of Stickman, the delivery boy who never quite gets it right. From fire stations to zoos to cornfields to construction sites, somehow every wrong turn ended in a smile, a laugh, or an unexpected friendship. Maybe getting it wrong wasn't really the problem after all. Maybe it was just his own unique way of spreading a little unexpected joy. Back at the depot, his manager kept a growing folder labeled "Wrong but Wonderful." Each entry told a strange, funny story of a delivery gone hilariously sideways. His manager sighed, but couldn't help but smile as he flipped through it. That evening, Stickman walked home, tired but genuinely happy. He passed by the fire station, the zoo, and the cornfield along the way. Each place gave him a friendly wave as he walked by. He waved back, feeling more connected to the town than ever before. He arrived home, dropped his bag by the door, and flopped on the couch. He smiled up at the ceiling, reflecting on the strange, wonderful day. He whispered up at the ceiling, "Wrong address, right outcome. I'll take it." The next morning, he arrived at the depot, bright and early. His manager handed him a new package, address clearly written, as always. Stickman took it with a grin. "Let's see where this one takes us." The manager just shook his head, no longer even trying to correct him, because by now, everyone had accepted a simple truth about Stickman. The destination on the label was never really the point. The journey, the surprises, and the smiles along the way, that was the real delivery. Thanks for following along on today's wonderfully chaotic delivery route. There are plenty more wrong turns and right outcomes waiting ahead. Until next time, keep your address label handy. Stickman might still find you anyway. This has been Stickman's Delivery Diaries, one wrong turn at a time. Remember, the best stories rarely go exactly as planned, and sometimes the wrong address leads to exactly the right place. See you on the next route, however sideways it might turn out to be. Until then, happy deliveries, wherever they might actually end up.